That's a cool shot. Yeah. Okay. Hello, hello. Test, test, test. Okay. We have audio. We got picture. What are we gonna talk about today? I want to talk about love today. I'm traumatized. I am traumatized when it comes to love. And it's terrifying. And it's scary to be like vulnerable with somebody. I've been through quite a bit when it comes to love, I would say. Not more than most people, but more than I would have liked to be going through. And now that I find myself in a new relationship, I think I'm starting to learn what love actually means and how differently people can love and just how much compromise it takes and how much understanding and patience it takes. And I realized that I genuinely don't have a lot when it comes to that. And I think a lot of it stems from fear. Fear of like not being seen or not being understood or like being disappointed. And honestly, I could make like 5,000 videos about this because there's just so like when it comes to love, I feel love is just like a culmination of so many different things. I do want to start by saying that I am grateful for my girlfriend. Because despite what I've been through, and despite sometimes, not showing up in the best way, and not being super understanding, and not being, I guess, the best version of myself, the version of myself that I know I can be, because I act out of fear, and I act out of just being unsure about things, and honestly, just like there's that like the scars that are still there from like past experiences. And she has really proven to me that people can be very patient and people can be very loving and very understanding and give you so much grace, even when you don't give them the same grace, even when you feel like you don't deserve it. And I am just like so amazed because I've never really been in a situation or like in a relationship where, despite like my fears coming out in such a negative way, I will say it's like maybe not always the healthiest way, people are still willing to meet you halfway and to see you. And I am unbelievably grateful for that because I don't know if I could do the same. And, I think it's important to not take advantage of that because people have a limit and a breaking point. And so in the time that somebody is showing you so much grace and so much love and so much understanding, it's so important for you to be able to overcome the things that lead you to acting out like that. And that's truly something that I'm struggling with currently is being able to identify what those things are and to kind of work through them. And as much as I try, I always just kind of fall back into the same traps. I fall back into the same fears and to the same doubts of like, oh, is this going to work? Does this person actually want me? Does this person actually care about me? Like, it's just like old scars that are just like being like kind of like poked at that make you step back and be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, this is too good to be true. Like, this can't be happening. This can't be like, for me or whatever. Like, I don't know. It just makes me really wonder, like, what it's going to take for me to evolve and what it's going to take for me to overcome, like, these fears that I've developed over the past few years. I think that I am going to give myself credit in like allowing myself to be more vulnerable than I think I ever have been. And I've been learning so much about myself in this relationship. Um, there are times where I feel like it's unfair that I'm learning about myself with somebody. It feels unfair to put somebody kind of like through that like figuring out. But then you also realize that like outside of a relationship, it's hard to figure yourself out too. And that's not to say that you need to be in a relationship to figure yourself out, but like having somebody there who supports you through it, and it also allows you to kind of be in a relationship at the same time, like it really changes your perspective, you know? It's so easy to kind of say like, oh, I have to work on myself, like I'm not going to see anybody. And there's importance in that too, but eventually you do have to let go of that because there's only so much that you can do to work on yourself in the context of a relationship when you're not in a relationship. It just feels really awful to like put somebody who has nothing to do with your trauma and with your past experiences through the pain that you're feeling. But I guess that's also what love is, right? When you love somebody, you're going to love their pain and their happiness and their joy. You're going to celebrate. You're going to also be there when there's like really sad moments. And I think that I have this like this hatred of feeling like a burden. And so the second I start feeling like a burden, I just kind of shut down. I'm so used to like being there for people and giving people everything. And the second I feel like I'm asking for too much or like I ask even for a little bit, like I just feel like I just shut down. And it makes it scary to pursue something because it just feels easier to just give without asking for anything back. Because then if you lose the person, you haven't depended on them for anything. And so that way, if they leave you or if you leave them, it just feels like there's no void because you just never depended on them. But then that's being half into the relationship. That's being half into love. It's not really like allowing yourself to go all in, to give maximum effort and to receive maximum effort because you're never fully there. You're not allowing yourself to get anything back. You're not allowing yourself to feel love. And then that makes you resentful and that makes you feel like the other person's not doing enough because you're not allowing them to do enough. And so I'm slowly learning that like I need to ask for things if I'm not getting them. I shouldn't just assume that somebody else knows how to love me automatically just because I may love them in a certain way and I feel like I'm doing it the right way. It doesn't mean that the other person doesn't want to do it right. They're just doing it in the way that they think is right. How long is this? You know, I'm grateful to be in this relationship at this time where I am really like finally thinking about myself and like figuring out what I need, while at the same time being sad that this is the person that I'm with while I'm doing it, because you just want to be the best for the person that you think is the best for you. And so it sucks to like almost let that person down because you're really trying to overcome these things at the same time while you're trying to be the best, but you're not the best yet. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah. And obviously, like, I'm talking about romantic love, and there's other types of love, and maybe, you know, I'll make a video about those other types of love, but romantic love tends to be the one that hurts the most, and that hits the most, and that's just, like, the most, like, intense. And so that's why I'm talking about that now. But all the other types of love affect how you show up for romantic love. And I just really hope that I am learning to be better. I'm trying. And, I hope I can look back at this video one day and remember, like, the state of mind I was in. Remember, like, this moment, how I was feeling in this moment. And how I maybe wasn't, like, the best version of me in a relationship. And that I can look back and be proud and be like, you know what, like, I figured it out. For the most part. I'm always going to be a pain in the ass. Which is, like, my best quality, obviously. But I just want to be better at loving. Just better at loving. I'm very thankful for love. I'm very thankful for the love that I have received in my life. I'm not as thankful for the heartbreaks, but even those have taught me a lot about myself and helped me get to where I am today. So as much as they hurt and as much as I'm still navigating all of that, I can't be ungrateful for that experience either, I think it's easy to be on social media and think that everything's perfect and everything's dandy and everything's great. Like, everybody knows that. It's almost like cliche thing you can say, but, like, life is real. Life is hard. Love is real. Love is hard. And when you love somebody, like, it takes work. It's not just like this magic click that makes everything work. That's maybe like the initial attraction. That's maybe the initial thing that gets you going. It's like when you start a fire and you want to keep it burning. So you have to keep replacing the wood and you have to keep moving it and blowing on it and whatever. And, like, love takes work eventually. That initial spark is not going to be enough and it takes effort. But you also don't rush it, That's something also that I'm kind of, like, getting used to is, like, meet me where I am. Like, be where I am. It's not even meet me where I am. It's like I expect a person to just kind of be where I'm at. But it's like, am I meeting you where you are? Am I at the spot that you want me to be too? Like, my love is not better than your love. It's just different. So, like, how do I understand what your love is like? I hope that this message serves me well someday. I hope that just sharing this thought allows me to make the effort that I'm making to be better, more real, more tangible. I just want this to be a reminder of where I am right now. And I hope that eventually it just serves as a reminder and not as like I hope I'm just not in the same place. That's like the whole point of this, is to not be in the same place. And I'm grateful for my relationship, and I'm grateful for the love that I do have in my life. So grateful, so thankful, so lucky. And I don't want to take that for granted. That's that.